If you want to stay ahead of the game in crypto, you need a constant stream of alpha. And not only does this alpha need to be real time, but it needs to come from reputable sources. Now, one of the best tools at your fingertips for this is X, formerly known as Twitter. Following the right accounts on X has been a winning strategy for many crypto investors. But with so much crypto info out there, finding the right accounts to follow can be
easier said than done.
So today, we'll tell you about the top 10 X accounts that you need to be keeping tabs on if you want to succeed in crypto. My name is Guy. Stay tuned. Before we dive in, I'll quickly note that we're not paid to promote any of these X accounts, and even though these are our top 10 picks, there are plenty of other fantastic accounts out there to follow that didn't make this list. So perhaps we'll come back later with another video on some of them. I'll also add that this list is in no particular order. These are just the 10 accounts that we here at the Coin Bureau follow on a daily basis. We've grouped the accounts on this list by category, and we'll leave the links for each one down in the description for your convenience. Oh, and pro tip, ping the bell on each profile so that you get notified the moment they post. That way you'll get this alpha the second it's released into the wild. With that said then, the first X account that you need to be following is a jack of all trades, and that's, drumroll please, Coin Bureau. All right, I know I said no particular order, but come on, we have to shill ourselves right off the bat, don't we? Anyway, in all seriousness, give us a follow on X, and in return, we'll keep you up to date with the latest crypto trends. We'll also post key data and metrics, offer you our thoughts and insights, and throw in the odd crypto meme and shitpost for good measure. We even share some of the latest tweets from other crypto experts, like this one from a chap called Nick. Wait a minute, he looks kind of familiar. Anywho, we'll also update you every time we put out a new video, so remember to turn on those notifications. And if you're looking for the best alpha to make informed trading decisions of your own, then you'll also want to give the Coin Bureau trading channel a follow on X too. That's where Dan, our very own head of research, and Aaron, aka Moomin Papa, share actionable alpha that you can take full advantage of. Oh, and while we're at it, we might as well ask you to show this video a bit of love by hitting those like and subscribe buttons and pinging that notification bell too, so you don't miss our next one. Right, that's quite enough plugging. Now on with the show. Okay, the next category of X account to keep tabs on is breaking news. Obviously, crypto news has a huge impact on prices, but by the time it's covered by popular crypto news outlets like Cointelegraph or CoinDesk, you're already late to the party. So if you want to stay ahead of the game, you'll need to hear this news the second it breaks. So the first breaking news account to follow is DB, also known as Tier 10K. DB posts a selection of headlines from DB News to deliver market-moving updates, often within just minutes of the news coming out. These include updates from notable figureheads in crypto, any regulatory updates, and even macro topics that could relate to crypto. There's also some funny stuff put out every so often too, like asking how the hell SBF managed to get a phone while behind bars, or saying, quote, "We had a good run that time when Michael Saylor appeared on the cover of Forbes magazine." What we love is that more often than not, DB will also provide a source or a screenshot so you can verify the information yourself. The only downside is that the account isn't super consistent. Sometimes there are large gaps between posts. To be fair though, no crypto news account is perfect, and you'll still have more than enough alpha from the posts being put out. Now, the second account to follow in the breaking news category is Watcher Guru. Watcher Guru is one of the best accounts to follow on X for breaking news. These guys have their ears firmly to the ground, allowing them to keep up with the biggest news updates, many of which can move the markets. Notably, everything that Watcher Guru posts is kept unbiased. Now, we'd argue this is vitally important, especially in crypto, where tribalism can get a little crazy at times. What's great is that major news updates are often summed up in a single sentence, giving you everything you need in one quick fix. This rather underrated feature can be a game changer, considering the way that the crypto market reacts almost instantly to big news. The only downside is that Watcher Guru isn't always the first to post about this news, and it's a bit hit and miss whether they attach a source. So sometimes you'll need to do a bit of extra digging if you want to verify this information for yourself. Okay, the third X account in the breaking news category to follow is Eleanor Terrett. For those unfamiliar, Eleanor spent 9 years at Fox Business before going on to become one of the leading crypto journalists in the US. FYI, Eleanor recently left Fox Business to present as a co-host on a new weekly podcast called Crypto America. In any case, Eleanor's X account is a great one to follow. That's because she regularly provides breaking news updates, and these sometimes include critical inside scoops. For example, Eleanor was present at the White House's first ever crypto summit. There, she got to hear firsthand what was being said when the cameras were off. And not only is Eleanor a respected reporter, but she also has expertise in regards to crypto regulation. Her follower count exploded when her frequent updates in the Ripple and SEC lawsuit put her in the spotlight. In fact, according to Eleanor, this lawsuit was what got her interested in crypto in the first place. Now, what's great is that Eleanor takes the time to explain fairly complex regulatory topics in a way that anybody can understand. The only real downside is that sometimes explaining these concepts means that her posts can be a tad lengthy. That said, though, we think they're incredibly insightful and definitely worth your time.
It's the place to be when you're in need of amazing crypto deals and opportunities. It's got savings that you won't believe, like money off those pesky trading fees. It's the Coin Bureau deals page. Sign up bonuses and discounts too. The Coin Bureau deals page. We put these deals together just for you, just for you.
Okay, folks, the next category of X account that you need to be following is on-chain tracking. Now, in our opinion, there's one account that easily makes it to the top of this list, and that's Arkham Intelligence. As most of you will know, Arkham is a leading on-chain analytics platform that gives you unparalleled insights into crypto transactions. It uses AI technology to organize data for its users, making it easily accessible. Following Arkham's X account allows you to keep up to date with critical movements, such as when whales move crypto onto an exchange, or when a well-known individual starts stacking or dumping altcoins. Arkham also recently launched a spot and perpetuals exchange, which integrates Arkham's intelligence platform directly into the trading experience. And as one of the latest exchanges to hit the market, you'll probably want to know when new cryptos are being listed. Thankfully, Arkham's X profile has you covered here too. They'll post about an upcoming listing in advance, including information about what time and date that crypto will be hitting the Arkham exchange. If we had to pick out any faults, it's that reading some of this on-chain data requires a bit of knowledge about how transactions are structured. In other words, it can be a bit overwhelming for beginners. That said, though, this isn't a fault of Arkham, but rather an ongoing UX problem with crypto more broadly. Everything is as clear as possible on the platform itself, and we'd bet that as crypto technology evolves, it will become much easier to identify and label some of the less human-readable aspects of the blockchain in the future. Okay, the next category of X account you need to be following is market analysts. Of course, you'll see no end of users on X offering their own insights and analysis on the crypto market. The problem is, the majority will dish out misinformation, biased opinions, piss-poor technical analysis, or indeed a combination of all three. Instead, what you need is those pearls of wisdom that can only be found with the most reputable market analysts. That's why the first account you should be following in this category is Bob Lucas. Bob is a famous Bitcoin trader with more than 25 years of experience. His analysis stretches across multiple markets, including stocks, precious metals, and of course, crypto. Bob is well respected as a swing trader and a leading expert in market cycles. In fact, he popularized the theory of Bitcoin's 4-year cycle. Anywho, keeping an eye on Bob's X account can give you a sense of where the market could be heading next. He shares a good mix of technical analysis combined with his own expert thoughts and insights. And what we love is that Bob often explains why the market is about to pump or dump, and usually he's right on the money. He doesn't call it right every single time, of course, nobody does, which is why you should never make investment decisions based on a single person's opinion. Even the best in the business can make mistakes, but hey, Bob's only human after all, and his X account is well worth following. The second account you need to follow in the market analysis category is a good friend of ours, and that is, of course, Benjamin Cowan. Now, many of you will recognize Ben as one of the co-hosts of NFA Live, alongside Rob from Digital Asset News and yours truly. Ben is the founder and CEO of the incredibly powerful market analysis website Into the Cryptoverse. His gigabrain gives him the unparalleled ability to break down just about any chart you throw at him. Ben also has a deep understanding of macro, which he often uses as the base case for his analysis. And like all expert analysts, Ben keeps his finger on the market's pulse and usually shares his insights on X multiple times a day. Now, in our experience, it's rare that Ben gets it wrong, even if this means giving out an unpopular opinion. And this is one of our favourite things about Ben. He isn't afraid to go against the grain, so to speak. And to be blunt, we'd wager that Ben has made more consistent gains than the vast majority of crypto bros who went all in on various altcoins, only to watch them bleed. That's why the crypto industry needs more voices like Ben's. After all, it could be the wake-up call you need to go from getting wrecked to getting rich. And best of all, Ben can be hilarious at times too, so it's worth giving him a follow if you just want a good laugh every now and then. And to think we managed to get through this whole section without mentioning Bitcoin dominance once. Oh, damn it. And this brings us nicely to the next category of X accounts that you need to follow, and that's macro analysis. That's because, more often than not, it's macro conditions that will determine price action in the crypto market. And as a fun fact, it's believed that this has been the case ever since institutional investors began aping into crypto back in 2017. Understanding macro is therefore key to making the most informed investment decisions. The problem is that macro is also incredibly complex, and it can be quite daunting to learn all the ins and outs. Luckily though, there are a number of X accounts that you can follow to get a good grasp on what's going on. And the first account in this category that you should know about is the Kobeisi letter. As its own X profile bio explains, the Kobeisi letter provides, quote, an industry-leading commentary on the global capital markets. The Kobeisi letter is actually a premium subscription service, which is a little on the expensive side for ordinary investors like you and me. However, their X account dishes out free macro alpha several times a day, and best of all, they make sure that every post is easy to understand, even if your macro knowledge isn't all that great. The Kobeisi letter offers fundamental and technical analysis on the S&P 500, crude oil, natural gas, gold, bonds, and options. They also regularly post breaking news that impacts the markets. So when you combine all of this, you get a clear sense of whether the markets are generally feeling bullish or bearish. So even if they don't share anything crypto specific, you'll still be able to make more informed decisions based on what's being put out. Consider that crypto is, after all, closely correlated with the S&P 500. So if the stock market starts rallying or crashing, crypto will probably do the same thing, albeit with far more volatility. In the case of Bitcoin, BTC is sometimes correlated with gold, which makes sense when you consider that Bitcoin is considered by many to be digital gold. And you can learn more about BTC's relationship with gold in the video right over here. Okay, the second X account you need to follow in the macro analysis category is Jeff Park. Jeff is the portfolio manager and head of alpha strategies at Bitwise, which you'll recognize as one of the leading issuers of spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Basically, it's Jeff's job to lead the firm's hedge fund and find investing opportunities. Jeff's position gives him a unique perspective, and he frequently posts his expert opinions on X for all to see. His posts often include a combination of macro-focused commentary and a deep understanding of the markets. These can often give you a perspective that you may not have considered otherwise. In many cases, this includes giving contrarian viewpoints that go against the status quo. And in our opinion, this is incredibly important. After all, seeing things from an alternative perspective can potentially be a game changer for your portfolio. What we like most, though, is that Jeff seems to have an interest in crypto's success outside of the US. I mean, let's be honest, it's sometimes easy to forget that crypto is an international asset class that goes far beyond whatever's happening in the United States. And when Jeff isn't sharing quick, thought-provoking crypto snippets, he's often sharing alpha that you simply won't find anywhere else. The only downside is that sometimes his posts require a bit of macro knowledge to understand, since he doesn't always make them beginner-friendly. Alrighty then, the final category of X account to follow is entertainment. Because, quite frankly, the crypto market can be unbelievably stressful at times, and hey, us crypto bros need a good laugh more than just about anyone else. You know what they say after all, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Anyway, one of the best accounts to follow for your daily dose of crypto-like relief has to be Inverse Bra. If a constant flow of esoterically spelt shitposts is your thing, then you'll feel right at home here. Inverse Bra self-identifies as a, quote, professional it, that, and Lil Shid, and uses the name Smolting. According to Little Shid's bio, Inverse Bra says that it could possibly be a multi-agency Fed, although unproven, but is absolutely, quote, not a frog. Well, glad we got that one cleared up then. So, in a nutshell, Inverse Bra will post screenshots of funny and/or batshit interactions between X accounts in the crypto space. These usually come from followers who will tag Inverse Bra in the craziest conversations or posts that CryptoX has to offer. And as X is full of all kinds of crazy, so Inverse Bra is never short on content. Honestly, when crypto puts you in a bad mood, just go and check out Inverse Bra's profile, and suddenly you'll remember that it's all just a bunch of mentally ill degenerates trying to cope with the unspeakable reality of their existence. Get me in, little shit. Okay, folks, that was our top 10 X accounts to follow to help you stay ahead and entertained in crypto. But we want to hear from you. Are there any accounts that you follow on a daily basis? It's always great to find new ones to follow, so drop your favorites in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a boost by smashing those like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to turn on those notifications too, so you don't miss our next one. And if you want to see the top 10 free crypto apps that we use, check out this video right over here. And if you want to see which Telegram channels we follow, you can find that out right over here. That's all for today, folks. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.